Thank you to PUBG Mobile for sponsoring today's video. Yo, what's going on, guys? This is Wynn and welcome back to another video. Today we're checking out the entire 4.0 update that is coming to PUBG Mobile very soon. So PUBG Mobile sent me a ton of gameplay clips and footage of all of the new features coming in this update. I put it all together into one big video, and we're going to check it all out today. Thanks again to PUBG Mobile for sponsoring today's video. You guys can go to the link in the description to download the game and get ready for the 4.0 update, which is going to be all about Halloween, spooky themes, ghosts, and so much more. But we also have updates spanning across Metro Royale, World of Wonder, Home, and every part of the game is getting some pretty serious content. So let's jump in and start off with the thing that everybody cares about. That's, of course, the classic mode themed update. So let's hop in. We have the spooky soiree with ghosts, a haunted castle, a huge hot drop location. We're gonna just take a look at that first here. We have this massive castle. It kind of reminds me of last year's like vampire werewolf update, but it looks like this got a serious upgrade. This courtyard, some buildings on the side. We've got the grand entrance and of course the castle in the middle. That is likely where we're gonna have our big hot drop chest. Now, there's a lot I want to say about this update, but let's just first take a quick look at this hot drop, right? So we go into the castle. There's a lot of stuff. There's like this mirror thing here that can break and give you loot. We'll check that out in a second. We saw a broomstick there, by the way. That's the new vehicle. And there is the chest. I actually want to pause it right here and just take a look kind of right here. The ghosts are actually like a part of this map. Check this out. Check this out. The couch kind of moves up and down like an elevator. And the ghosts here are holding like picture frames. You could actually jump and like hop up as you go. So it's kind of cool to see the little ghosts like in the haunted house, but they're not just for decoration. There's also going to be like this concert where the ghosts like perform, and I think it alerts you that like this is going on the map, and there's going to be a ton of like loot and stuff. Now wait, we're going pretty quick here, so I'm just going to pause it for a second. There's one thing I want to mention. These ghosts, by the way, are a huge part of this update. Now, not only do they like help you out and give you like little abilities and stuff, they also have like perks, and there's even more stuff that is about these ghosts that isn't even in the video. Now, let's just show you guys what the ghosts can do first, and then I'm going to tell you something pretty crazy about the ghosts that I don't have footage for it, but PUBG Mobile told me that the ghosts can kind of act like a respawn card, okay? So that's pretty insane. But first, check this out. One of the abilities is the, like, a shield. It's like a damage shield that you could push the enemies with. So it's like a moving riot shield. The enemies can shoot it. It will start to break. So wait for it. Look, it cracks. And I love that the little face like becomes like a little sad. He's like, oh no, I'm taking damage. But you can push the enemies with this shield, you know, get your teammates behind it. And eventually it does break. But look, do you see the little ghost right there? Like they kind of follow you almost like a companion. I think it's pretty cool. I don't know if every player gets a ghost automatically, but I do know that like some of these abilities and stuff you can actually find inside the hot drop and from the chest, like that shield. Like there's one coming up that's like a scan ability that we'll see, but this is another look at what you can do with this shield. So let's say your teammate right here is like behind a hay bale in a gunfight, and you're like, you know what, I'm just gonna push. I'm literally gonna push. I'm literally gonna push, because look, you can bump into them and kind of bop them with the ghost shield, and then your teammates can come in and clean up the fight right there. So like it's a super handy thing right there, especially that you can push the enemies. Here's another one. It actually is a speed boost. So you can pick up this boost and the ghost literally gives you a little push and your character can run like super fast, which I think is kind of nice actually. I love all of the like mobility, being able to move around the map faster. And here's another example. It can kind of inflate and like make this little hot air balloon, and you can also fly around, which is great for maybe getting out of a sticky situation or pushing in and flying in, you know, to like surprise enemies. And this one's really cool. Let's pause it here. So it says Ghosty helps with healing. And if you saw it just a second ago, the ghost popped up a little message that was like, hey, I can help you if you're like, you know, injured. But there's a few things about this clip. Let's pause it right here. Do you guys notice what I noticed? He's running full speed while using a medkit. Isn't that crazy? So Ghosty, I think, helps make you run a little bit faster. And then, wait a minute. It put the first aid or the med kit, it put it back into the inventory. So I'm like, does Ghosty help you have like unlimited healing? I don't know if that's true or not, but I was curious when I saw this footage. What does this mean? Watch. As soon as it finishes, it like pops the med kit back into the inventory. So I'm not sure like what Ghosty does with, you know, maybe they're giving you your meds back, but it definitely helps you run faster. This one is the scan that I mentioned a minute ago. So scan works when you use it, and then when you shoot an enemy, watch this. It actually scans from the enemy's location, and look at this. It scanned another enemy further back. I think this is a really unique way of using like a scan where it actually scans from the bad guys. And this one's cool. Ghosty, I think this is just a funny little animation, by the way, but like the Ghosty will like mess around with you. But then look at that, just got shot in the head. And over here on the right side, it says, I'll keep your head safe. So Ghosty will literally help protect you from headshots. Now, I think that's pretty cool, but also I'm a sniper, so let's not protect those headshots too much, okay? Anyway, like you can see, the ghosts have so many cool abilities. Now, let's head back in and check out more of the hot drop. There are these scaredy ghosts that you can find, and look at the drops right here. These are the things I was talking about. That's like the scan. You can pick up the scan right here. Another look here. I think these like suits of armor will have these little like scaredy ghosts in them, and I think you can shoot the scaredy ghosts, and then maybe they drop. Like there's the guardian shield. So I think they drop a lot of these good like ghost related abilities. Here's the hot drop chest, by the way. There's another scaredy ghost. So it's gonna open it up. And I kind of like where this chest is. I feel like in a lot of the last updates, it's always like in a spot that you can camp. But this hot drop chest kind of feels like it's like a little bit in the open, and I like it because, you know, I want to be able to push the enemies and fight them, or, you know, have like a fighting chance at the chest. I don't want anybody to go up into like a little room and be able to camp the chest for 10 minutes, right? So I kind of like how this is laid out. But here's a quick look. We zoomed in here on like some of those abilities. You can see the guardian shield deploys that shield. The scan will scan for those enemies. So it is something that you can like pick up, and I think it like equips your ghosty like with that ability. I could be wrong. I haven't played the update yet, but we're just getting an early look at kind of some of the stuff that's coming out, right? There we go, scan nearby enemies. And here's that glass thing that I was telling you about earlier. So you go up to it, it's like this cracked mirror, and when you use it, it does like crack open. A portal opens, a ghost comes out, and it looks like the loot that you get out of here is really good. An AWM and an AMR and a self AED. But there's also a mortar, by the way, which we're going to talk about later in this video. But there's a brand new like utility weapon coming in this update for just like classic mode. So that's coming out. Next up, we have our brand new vehicle, which is probably one of the best mobility things in this update. And of course, it's the Broomstick that's been teased on Erangel. We can actually see these in the game right now. And it looks like 2 players can actually ride on it. I did not know that. And this thing is super fast. But check this out. It also has its own ability. So we've got an enemy up here right ahead. We're charging up this like rush attack, and then boom, you can bop the enemy and send them flying. Now imagine you sent them flying over a cliff. That was my first thought. Was like, how could I send somebody to fall a lot further than that? But that is kind of a good look at the classic mode updates. But there's one more thing I want to mention before we do get into Metro Royale, and that is I don't have footage of it, but there is a huge thing coming with these ghosts. Now, one thing that the community has really wanted for a long time is the respawn cards. However, I don't know if they're in this mode, but here's what I can say. They told me that the ghosts, where is it? Let me find it. So there is a feature called Prankster Ghost. When you're defeated, not just knocked, but when you are fully defeated and you turned into a little loot box, the Prankster Ghost is what you will become. You can actually become a ghost, and you can disrupt enemies to help out your surviving teammates. One of them is like a bomb. You can transform into a fast-moving bomb that deals damage and knocks back all nearby players. It does consume a lot of energy, though. So while you are this Prankster Ghost, you kind of have like an energy bar. So you're not able to like, you know, survive forever as a ghost, but you can still do a couple things to help out your teammates. The second thing that you could do is spook. You could mark the player in front of you. For a short time, the marked player's location is visible to everyone. And this skill also does consume a lot of energy. So if you're like, he's right here, and your teammates are like, where? You can mark him as a ghost and let him know. The third one is a shield. You can transform into a shield that blocks damage. This skill doesn't consume energy, but the energy drains as your shield gets shot, right? That makes sense. But that's not even the biggest part about this. Listen to what this says. Once all of your energy is depleted, the player is permanently eliminated and becomes a spectator. So you have to make sure that you keep your energy while you're being a prankster ghost. If a teammate revives you while you're a phantom, you can rejoin the match and keep fighting. Did you hear what I said? If your teammate can revive you as a ghost, so if you fully die and then you become a ghost, you can like can fly away to your teammates and they can revive you as a ghost. I don't know if this is like, it uses like a recall. I don't know if you can use this like really late in the match. I don't know. How crazy would that be though? I think this is super cool though, because if you have a ghost or you become a prankster ghost when you're eliminated, this is like another way for you to come back to life. So there might not be respawn cards, but this is kind of like a respawn thing. So I'm super excited for this, and this was like the #1 thing that I'm excited for in this update. And of course, I didn't have a clip for it, but I have the text that tells me what it does. So I'm excited for that. But let's move on to Metro Royale, because just like pretty much every other update, we've got a brand new chapter, but they are bringing the new 1v1 feature. So this is quick. Now, this is also a new feature in classic matches, by the way. If you guys didn't know this, let me rewind it here for a second. So when you're on the lobby, not just in Metro, but in classic matches too, if you and your friend are standing there, you can click on their name and there's like a start 1v1 button. So you can literally do a like 1v1 in warehouse. And it's not like a normal TDM. Like it's 1st to 5. If you run out, and like, you know, you get the elimination, it resets both of you back to your own end. But they added that same 1v1 here to Metro. So if you want to be testing out like the advanced armor, the level 4, 5, and 6 vest and helmet, you can now do Metro 1v1s. So check this out. We've got the 1v1 started. Like at the top, I said it's the 1st to 5. So let's see, right? Like the player gets the elimination, but then watch this. It resets you both back to your end. So it's a fair 1v1. It's not like you get the elimination and you're like already up on their end and you can shoot them again. Like it puts you back on your own end. So it's completely fair. But like I said, this is a brand new feature they added in classic matches like 1 or 2 updates ago. But we now have it in Metro, which is great because like you can test out, you know, Metro has so much more gear, these extra helmets and vests and stuff that we don't have in classic. So if you want to test that out, super cool. Other updates. This, I think, is where we start talking about the mortar and a couple other cool things here. So there it is on the ground, dude. It's like this giant freaking trumpet looking thing, but it is very powerful. And there are the 60mm mortar shells. So you have, it does take up a weapon slot. This is a big beefy boy right here, okay? So you're not going to be carrying around an M4 and an AK and a mortar. That's not how that works, man. So if you want this big mortar, you're going to have to sacrifice one of your 2 guns. So you see here, we pop down the mortar, and you're really like in there, like you're stuck in the mortar. So you're like, you got to commit to it. It takes a little bit of time, by the way. You see, it's got a long travel. Goes up, and then boom! And you see, it's like a red zone bomb. This thing is crazy. Here's another example where you can actually switch into a precise aim, like POV. Kind of like FPP, but with a mortar. And then look at the map. The map actually turns into this like diamond shaped thing, and it lets you move around and even like tilt it to try to get the perfect distance. And you can see the red dots. So we've got a little Victor guy over here behind the wall. We're gonna put in that mortar, boom. And then check this out. It does take a little bit of time, so it's not gonna be crazy overpowered, but you have to know, if I just heard this sound a couple like 200 meters away, this boom, you better be looking out for a mortar, because it's coming, bro. But this would be so much fun. Imagine it's like a team out in the field hiding behind like hay bales, and you're like, all right, busting out the mortar, bro. We're going to get them. I think this is going to be a really fun and exciting addition to PUBG Mobile, and maybe even the esports. Look at that. Boom! Look at that. One shot right there. It's literally like a red zone bomb. So I'm really excited for the mortar, man. That's going to make a lot of interesting moments now. Here is a, okay, you're like, all right, what is this clip, Wynnsanity? He just reloaded an M4. Like, what's the big deal? This is actually kind of a big deal. I don't know, like, it's a tiny thing, but it's like a big thing. So, does anybody, I'm going to ask the class, does anybody notice anything interesting about this clip? Anything at all? I'll give you 5 seconds. That's right. You can now reload to 31 bullets. So it's not just the 30 that's in the magazine of the weapon. You also have the 1 that's like in the chamber. So you have 30 plus 1. So you can now reload that extra bullet. And trust me, oh, there are a lot of moments where I really wished I had just 1 extra bullet, bro. So now we have up to 31 shots. And we have, these are like some small like quality of life updates, but here it is with the pistol as well. You can reload up to 16. Again, 1 in the chamber, not just what's in the magazine. We also have a pretty cool feature. It's like for realism, but when the gun is fully like out of ammo, like, you know, the pistol is kind of like open, right? So we have like a new animation here, which looks pretty cool. And it also, you know, another visual indicator to tell you, hey, bro, you're out of ammo. So that's a nice little feature. And this is also kind of huge, too. Like, I did not see this one coming. Can anybody guess where this is? No, this is not Cheer Park. No, this is not Noosa. They've added an entire beach water park to Leovka. I did not see this coming at all. But part of me thinks, like, I want to say this, like, look at that. Isn't that wild? I don't think that this is just for the 4.0, like, oh, like the Halloween spooky mode. I want to say this is permanent. I could be wrong, but we'll have to wait and see. But this is like a pretty big change where I feel like it's not just for one update. Like they added this Ferris wheel, and the character kind of comes up here to get like a better look at it. But look at that, like looking out, bro. We've got chairs, umbrellas, we got palm trees. I didn't realize Leovka was like a tropical oasis, but it is. I feel like, are these like the first ever palm trees on Erangel? Because, you know, Erangel's not really tropical, but I guess Leovka is. I think it looks pretty cool. This is like a better look too. We've got some loot here. Like maybe this does become a bit of a hot drop. I like it though. I'm totally down for like them changing up parts of the map. Like I love stuff like that. So more things like that. I'm here for it. All right, next we have the firearm combat power within like the honor settings. So if you guys can kind of tell what's going on here, we've got leaderboards for every single weapon. So you could be like, I'm the number 12, like, Winchester player in Europe. Like, you imagine? I'm the number 5 sawed-off shotgun player in Middle East server. So there's a whole, like, you can get titles like Global Top 100 AKM. That's crazy. I feel like the M4, the AK, they're going to be competitive. But, yo, I'm going to try to get on that AWM leaderboard. You know what I mean, dude? So this is pretty cool, though. There's, like, combat point, like, points on the leaderboard and all kinds of stuff. I mean, hey, PUBG Mobile players, we love stuff to grind, don't we? We also have not just the combat power. There is a new Path of Glory, which I think gives just like additional rewards as you rank up through like all the different ace levels and conqueror and stuff. But there's some pretty cool rewards in here, like a new match entry, like loading screen. You'll see in a second here. We've got a new like emote. I think there's a new like MVP pose right here. Yeah, MVP showcase. We've got kind of a Halloween themed one. You can earn this just by like grinding up to Ace Dominator 30. And then I think this is Ace Dominator 40. Brother, I don't think I've ever been Ace Dominator 40, but if you guys are, some of you are way up there, you could get, check this out. There's like loading screen in the back when the match like loads in. Yeah, like a Halloween themed. We've got an avatar, and then we've of course got the Conqueror frame. And like, I don't know. I think it's pretty cool. Leaderboards for guns, getting unique like animation rewards, MVP showcases for grinding the game and being a sweat. Like that's pretty cool. And then we've got home updates. We have a new set coming, the Moonlit Cloud set. We have a bed. There's a chair. There's some pretty cool stuff in here, by the way. This sofa, bro, that doesn't look like a sofa to me. That's the whole room, dude. We've got the sofa and it's got like an orb. We've got the piano. You can sit down and play. We've got the Moonlit Cloud bathtub, and we have a bird cage. Could you actually put a bird in there? Yo, maybe like you could show off your falcon if you have like a companion. And then we have the Osmanthus water feature, which is very fancy. And then World of Wonder. Like this is low-key like a huge part of this update. So World of Wonder is apparently officially moving out of beta and going into 1.0. So World of Wonder, I mean, it's always been here, but like it's here. And we've got new vehicles, including the like light helicopter, and they actually went ahead and added the Broomstick right away to World of Wonder. So if you guys are making maps and creations, there are new vehicles for you to use. We've got the Mortar being added as well. I think this is cool. When we get these new features in classic mode, we actually also get them right into World of Wonder at the same time. So let's just watch Victor get exploded one more time with a mortar. Boom, there we go. Excellent work. RPG, Armor Breaker. And then we also have the new weapons from the current mode, the little like baguette and the lightsaber and stuff from that like little like duel arena that you can go into. So we've added that as well in World of Wonder. And then last but not least, there is like an AI assistant. So if you have any questions, and like World of Wonder is pretty crazy. Like there's a lot of stuff you could do. So for new people, it's a little bit daunting. So you can actually go in and ask, and it's like powered by AI. So it will like literally give you like custom answers and stuff, which is pretty cool. And then very last but not least, bro, a lot of you are a lot smarter than I am. I don't understand how to do this stuff. I just play the World of Wonder maps. I don't make them, but if you guys are World of Wonder creators, oh my gosh, with this 1.0 update, they've added some crazy stuff. Like if you're into coding and all of the like logic, there's so many different variables and conditions. So like you can kind of see what it says. It's like when a player is hit by a rocket, they will explode. Like you could do like crazy stuff, especially for like the AI and for bosses. And you could even see just kind of scrolling through here. It's like when a vehicle enters a specific area, when a contested object enters a specific area. Like, I don't understand half of this stuff, but for you like game devs out there that are making World of Wonder maps, I am so excited to see the crazy stuff that people are going to make. And now that World of Wonder is no longer beta, it's the official 1.0 release. It's gonna be awesome, dude. So like the full kind of creative mode in PUBG Mobile is becoming massive, and it's only gonna get better. There's so much stuff in here, man. But that's just like a glimpse of what's coming in this 4.0 update. I mean, it's 4.0, you know, it's like kind of a big, it's not like 3.2, 3.3. This is 4.0. This is gonna be a big update across every part of the game, and I'm really looking forward to it, especially the Halloween mode and those ghosts, and maybe even being able to come back alive when your teammates revive you. So it's kind of a long video, but there was a lot to talk about in here. So I just want to say thank you again to PUBG Mobile for sponsoring today's video. Go to the link in the description to download. You guys are going to have all this content on day one of the update, and it's looking pretty good. So that's all I have for you guys today. Thanks for watching, and man, I'm getting pretty excited, dude. We need this update now. So I will, as always, see you guys next time.